I've been in business 13 years in Crush Grapes in Edwardsville. I've been 33 years in the wine industry, which puts me back drinking Mogan David, drinking Ripple, Boone's Farm, and all that stuff a lot of us grew up with. And of course, naturally, it's changed over a period of years. About 6-7 years ago, when Katie had informed me, it was 2005, I was doing a private function in someone's home up here in Alton, Bethalto. I can't remember, I think it was Bethalto. And one of the people, not knowing this, was apparently one of the administrators at Lewis and Clark. And I guess she was impressed on how I blew smoke up everybody's, dance that night. But anyway, she was impressed. So I got a phone call within months, and I started teaching courses, community education, adult education classes at our store in Edwardsville, because alcohol is kind of forbidden around college campuses and some of the schools. We've been doing this since '05, '06, and it's a great program. You sign up once a month. We talk about different wines, different regions, wines from the world. We teach you how to read the label, vintage date, what grapes are in the bottle. We actually taste. We match up food with it on given nights. We've also done beer before too. A lot of times I'm bringing in a winemaker or somebody, a rep from the area, whether it be from California. We've got people in there from France and Italy already in the store, and we keep a max of about 20 people. Our room is pretty good for that. But I've always been a believer in education throughout my time in the wine industry, teaching waiters and waitresses how to open up wine, how to taste, what they're tasting. A lot of times we drink a bottle of wine or we taste a bottle of wine. I may take it, you may think it's great, I'll tell you it's bad. So education is very, very important to us at our store. We know about every bottle we have. We have about 2,000 different labels. We greet you one-on-one, and we can tell you about everything in the store, whether it be beer, wine, or spirits. Wine is a funny thing these days. Back in the 60s and 70s, and I'm just rattling on here, so I'm not doing any particular thing. Back in the 60s and 70s, we weren't even mentioned in the world for wine consumption. Nobody even knew much about it, even though we were drinking jug wine. California was just starting to come around with Gallo and Mondavi, Chinchero family, and all that. What put us on the map was a huge mistake in California: white zin. White zin is a man-made item that was a mistake. The Gallo and Chinchero family was trying to make red zins because they're from Italy. Prima Vito's the grape, and they goosed and come up with this like 300,000 gallons of this pink stuff. Didn't know what to do with it. So they all figured they'd drive to San Francisco and sell it. Well, the women went nuts on it. And that created a craze that put us in the wine market in this country. A simple mistake that women like. So do women have better taste than us? Maybe so, yeah. But anyway, that put us on the map anyway. And I think we're ranked 6th or 7th in world consumption today for wine. We drink a lot in this country. UK is still #1 as far as spirits goes in the world. They just drink everything over there. So we are up and becoming. We have gotten away from the jug wine industry. We've gotten away from Mogan David. We're getting away from white zins. We're starting to drink more varietals, Cabs, Chardonnays, Zinfandels, Pinot Noirs, Pinot Grigios. In this country, we define our bottles by the grape. You go in Europe, it's the region. Bordeaux's a region, Rhome's a region. Chianti, San Giovanni, and all those areas over there. So if you do travel abroad and you're running into, let's say, Bordeaux, and you don't know what the grapes are, they're Cabernet Merlot blends, usually with a little bit of Cabernet Franc. So when we travel, we have to kind of distinguish what we're looking for, either on the label or the vintage date or what region we're in. It's been hot lately. A lot of times we're not drinking when it's triple digits out there, 105, 110. It doesn't taste good. So we slow up. We drink more tea, water, juices, whatever. So we do suffer in this market when it's hot like this. But one thing I always like to emphasize to people when they come in and purchase something, take the wine home immediately. In 15 minutes in your trunk or your car will pop the cork, as hot as it is. Our cars are sealed today, they're tighter. And red wine especially, it's drier, and the pressure of the cork will pop it. Believe me, I've done it before. It does pop. It goes everywhere, so it's not a pretty sight. You can chill your wines. We always suggest, we always had this adage about white wines, get them ice cold. Never get them ice cold. Half hour or so in your refrigerator in your white wines, even in your reds. Chill your reds out. It makes them taste a little bit better. Perfect cellar temperature is 55 to 65 degrees. It won't hurt if you put a bottle of red wine in your refrigerator at home. You can always take it out and it'll warm up in the glass. It will not hurt. You just don't want to drink it ice cold. We have a tendency to drink everything ice cold in this country, and we lose the flavor. All we're drinking is alcohol. So Augie Bush said that many years ago. You know, give me a guy and serve ice cold beer, he'll love me forever. Well, you're not drinking anything. You're drinking alcohol. So anyway, we have to abide by a lot of laws, city and state laws in this beautiful area of ours. Just when you think you're caught up on all your state taxes, the state comes back and gets you again because they're broke. I pay almost $5,000 a year just in state taxes, just in state fees to serve a bottle of wine. So it's not cheap, but it is something we have to abide by. It's about 1 out of every 13, we talk about wines, 1 out of every 13 bottles of wine goes bad in the world. That's a lot of juice. And a lot of that has to do with the cork. We're all familiar with corks in bottles of wine. You're also familiar with the screw cap. You're probably seeing more and more wines with screw caps. The screw cap, we're finding out, is keeping the wine a lot fresher, a lot cleaner, and it's not spoiling. Cork is a man-made thing where it will breathe, it will get air in it, and we always say that wine needs to breathe, but it needs to breathe after it gets out of the bottle. True cork comes from a tree in Portugal. It's stripped, made cork. It does have it's very porous, and it takes about 3 to 5 years for that bark to grow back on the tree to strip it again. Problem is that those trees aren't growing fast enough. So we've come up with synthetic corks, rubber corks, cork with fiberglass in it and all that. 9 times out of 10 you'll find a cork like that with a wine that is stainless steel fermentation, like we see the beer tanks, you know, at AB or Coors or Miller's or whatever. That's stainless steel fermentation. Those wines do not require breathing. Some of your red wines require where they have to breathe or have the fluid's got to touch the cork a little bit to keep it moist and all that. I mean, there's a lot of different things we could talk about. These are just a few things we'll talk about in the classes. We, about every other year, we'll go wine 101, how to use glassware, read the label, proper technique on swirling, tasting, spitting, swallowing, food pairing. They're neat classes. We can do this with beer. We usually do 1 or 2 beer classes throughout the year, usually in the spring, and we'll always do an Oktoberfest beer in October. The beers from Germany and that. So, the old adage about, I have a bottle of wine, it'll keep forever. No, not in today's world. Wine does not last forever. If you get an expensive wine and you want to keep it 10, 15, 20 years, you need to talk to the person where you're getting your wine from. Because they will not last that long unless you cellar it properly with proper temperature, humidity, and everything. And you may pick up a $10 bottle of wine, well, I'll keep it 10 years, it won't last 2 or 3. The worst place you can put wine in your home is in your kitchen, out on nice fancy racks, things like that. There's too much heat fluctuation. Wine needs to be, if you're going to store it, needs to be in sunlight. Put it in a basement, put it someplace where you're not going to be bothered, and let it go for quite a few years. So, just a few things we'll talk about in different classes and things like that. Has anybody traveled abroad to wine countries? France, Germany, Italy? Okay. Has anybody ever been out to the Illinois, Missouri wines? Okay. I always tell people, you know, it's hard to get to California for a weekend, but travel to the Illinois Trail, the Missouri wineries. It's the same process. They're just using different grapes. They cannot grow Cabernet and Chardonnay grapes in this area because of our humidity. They're growing Chardonnays. They might be growing some Nard and Chambersons, things like that. So, but it's the same process. It's fun. Go visit them and enjoy. Don't make wine. Don't be wine stupid, I guess. When you walk into a wine shop, if you don't know, ask. You know, don't feel, I don't know anything about it, but help us out here. We ask 1,001 questions when you walk in our store. It's a gift, what are you doing with it, food, the whole bit, because we want you to enjoy it. make it enjoyable. It's too expensive not to enjoy it. And I think with that, I'm going to turn it over to Katie. Katie is my coordinator with Lewis and Clark. We've had very good success with them and everything. And this worked out good because they have a lot more other adult classes you guys may want to get into. You guys may want to pick up sewing or something, you know, or quilting or, you know, cooking or whatever. But they have a lot of different stuff. So on that, I'm going to let Katie take over, and any questions we'll answer them afterwards. Thank you.
Thanks, Len. I have to start today by sharing two little anecdotes, I guess, about Lynn and some interactions that I've had with him. First of all, I attended, one of the cool parts about my job is I actually get to go and attend a lot of the classes and workshops that I coordinate, which is really cool because not only do I get to see the office side of it, putting it all together, but I get to enjoy those fringe benefits of going to Lynn's class. And my fiance and I at the time did a sparkling wines class, which was fabulous. If you ever see that on the calendar again, come to it. It was a wonderful class. Not only did you get to sample some amazing product, but we also learned so much. And my husband still talks about, remember that class we went to and what we learned? And he still tries to throw those things out there, make him sound smart all the time. So that's just one story. And another one is that I was having a dinner party one time and was running around frantic. I had no idea what to serve my guests. So I just called Lynn up and said, Lynn, I'm having a party. I'm serving XYZ. Can you help me out? So I stopped by and he directed me, you know, right to the types of wines I needed to be serving for the dinner. So that was just great. Those are just two kind of anecdotes of my interactions with Len. Like he mentioned, we have been sort of partnering together, offering workshops since 2005. That was actually even before I joined the college, so Lynn predates me a little bit in that sense. But what I want to do today is real briefly just kind of go over the 3 C's of learning that we are responsible for at Lewis and Clark. I am the Assistant Director of the Corporate and Community Learning Division. So we handle, as Pat introduced me, all of the non-credit learning that's going on at the college. A lot of people think of the college and they think, oh, career programs, 18-year-olds, that sort of thing. Well, I'm here to represent the rest of the college, who serves the rest of the community. So basically, the 3 C's of learning that I kind of want to just touch on real quick. The first one is community learning. Lynn has spent the past couple of minutes giving you a perfect example of what community learning is. They're just quick workshops, seminars, classes that are designed to enrich your life. So whether it's I want to learn something, a new skill, maybe I want to explore a new hobby, maybe I just want to get out on a Thursday night and have a wine class with my significant other, friends, whatever. So it's a wide variety of things for adults and also for kids. We have a huge youth program called College for Kids that we offer as well. So all of that falls under the heading of community learning. The second C is corporate learning, and that is kind of what it sounds like. That is designed for folks to be better, more effective, and more efficient in their jobs every day. Training in that area involves everything from leadership to customer service to technology, what's the latest and greatest office program. It also includes safety training, so OSHA classes, CPR, first aid, those types of things. All of that sort of falls under our second C of corporate learning. The third C is probably the most exciting, and that is customized learning. It is, again, exactly what it sounds like. Customized learning is our ability to partner with companies and organizations in the area to deliver training that is very specific for what their workers need, what their industry requires, and it's also delivered where they want it and when they want it. Now, very few people can offer you that, but you have a local resource right here in the community that has been doing this for years and years and years that is available to do something if you have a need for something that's very customized, very specific. So just to recap, the 3 C's, you may tell me the first one? Great, it was so exciting, huh? Yes, community learning, thank you. The second one? Corporate learning, thank you. And the third one? The fun one?
Customized.
Thank you, yes, customized learning. So those are the 3 C's. Those 3 C's actually have made Lewis and Clark the #1 provider of lifelong learning in the state of Illinois. We reach, just our division alone, the non-credit division, reaches about 13,000 people a year. That's in addition to the credit students and the people who are going through academic programs. So, I appreciate the opportunity to be with you today and just kind of share with you a little bit more about who we are, what we do, and why we're here in the community. We did pass out, before we started talking, a packet of information. That really just kind of gives you a snapshot of the 3 C's we talked about. The workshops Len still has coming up this semester are on the front, and then the rest of the handouts cover the other 2 Cs. My contact information is on the back. Certainly feel free to reach out to us if you need anything at all. We'd love to help you. So thank you again. The food was delicious. Appreciate you inviting us to be here today.